Greetings, Lucky Legends. My name is Lucky. This is Lucky Dad TV. I'm your host for this video, and today we are joined by a super cool guy, good friend of mine. Introduce yourself.
Yo, what is up, everybody? My name is Hermsaur, and I'm glad to be here.
I am very glad to have him here. The reason I was pausing for a second, I forgot to put in my headphones, and I don't want to have any reverb, so I'm going to grab those if I can find them.
These are no reverb or what I'm hearing.
There we go.
Alright.
One of the things about my channel is I don't believe in the fourth wall. So, so this is the day of my procedure. I had the procedure earlier today, so I'm still a little bit out of it. So, to all of those of you who say, did Lucky really forget his headphones? I did. and that's a part of life. People make mistakes.
It happens.
But
you just work with it.
As I said, we are joined by my good friend Hermsaur, who, if you watched my interview with Sarcasm the Sickness, and I know her audio was messed up, but if you watched that, you heard a lot of great things about Hermes, because he did, of course, come up in conversation. We were talking about your dancing skills, amongst other things.
Yeah.
And that's actually the first thing that I want to ask you, because the other stuff I'm going to get into a little bit later, but the first thing I want to ask you is how you got into dancing, and I'm sure you got good from practice and all that sort of stuff, but
yeah,
that's one of the things that I personally never got into. Like, I tried to, but I couldn't, so I'm curious how you got into it.
Well, it started when I was in high school, my first year, my freshman year in high school. To be honest, I was a loner. I had no friends. I was one of those kids, like, when you go to high school and you see those kids eating by themselves on the staircase kind of thing. I was one of those guys. And because all my other friends went to a different high school, the high school that I went to was kind of, well, in the eyes of my friends and my friends' parents, it was ghetto. It was dangerous. And at the time, it was. You know, at the time, Carson High School was a very dangerous high school. And I didn't have any friends, and I saw these guys dancing, and they asked me if I wanted to learn, and I said, but I'm fat, you know, like, I'm a big guy, and they're like, doesn't matter, you can do it if you really wanted to do it. So I said, you know what, sure. So I learned. It took me longer than most people, since I was a little bit heavier weight, but
that's not true. I could try for 20 years and not figure it out. No,
I mean, the only thing was, the reason why I was able to do it over time is because I was really consistent. What took me the longest time is the fact that I was learning wrong. I wanted to learn the wrong things rather than actually trying to understand the art of breakdancing or b-boying, what you call it. But over time, you know, like, while other people were quitting, I was staying consistent, and I was dancing, and I was competing, and I was winning, and you know, like, it just came from there. Like, that's pretty much where I got the confidence to talk on camera. Mostly, it's just because of dancing. It taught you how to be confident in yourself, and that was one of the greatest things why I wanted to learn how to dance, is because I wasn't confident in myself. So it taught me how to, you know, show people who I am and be myself in front of camera.
That's one of the things that you really see a lot in this community is people. Some people just use this community as a way to sort of branch out, but in other ways, people reach this community because they were branching out in some other way. Like, Age, I have a good friend of mine. He found this community because he was fed up with the Call of Duty community because of how cutthroat and, you know, overall mean it is. And he sort of found it that way. For me, I found it this way because my buddy Game Chomp and my brother, who's a little bit older than me, they showed me a Shady Penguin video, and I'm like, you can do that for a living?
Yeah.
Seriously? And then I got into it, and you've been doing this far longer than I am. I started this about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a baby in the community as far as, you know, most people are concerned. And that kind of leads. Whereas your channel's been around for a while. You actually started a second channel, and that one's doing very well as well. I was trying not to repeat that word, but it was the only way I could say it.
Yeah, off the dome.
But the question that I wanted to ask you regarding your channel is, most people know your name is Hermes. I don't think that's a big secret.
Yeah.
And people can probably piece together how you got your name, which would be you took, Hermes and Bulbasaur and you made Hermsaur or Hermsaur.
Yeah. Yeah.
The question that people may or may not have the answer to is why you chose Bulbasaur.
Oh, okay. Well, this is actually a very basic answer. When I was growing up, Red and Blue came out. I still got the cartridge behind me, but when Red and Blue came out, of course, everyone had Pokemon. If you didn't have Pokemon, you were not in. But I was one of those that had Pokemon when it just came out, and I was like, "Oh, this looks cool." I saw it in like a Japanese commercial. This looks pretty dope. So I was playing it. Everyone was raging. Charmander, Squirtle. Even I was at Pokemon Symphonics today. Not today. On I was there Saturday, and there was a point where they're like, choose your starter, and then there's Squirtle, Charmander, Bulbasaur. Yeah, and they're like, yell out your starter. Everyone is just yelling Charmander, everyone's Squirtle, and then you hear me going, oh, it's Bulbasaur. I stood up. I literally stood up while everyone's saying, I was like, that's Bulbasaur. That's my starter.
Hey, shut the fuck up. It's Bulbasaur.
But the reason why I chose Bulbasaur is because I felt bad that everyone was choosing Charmander and Squirtle over Bulbasaur, and I was like, why? And even me, I started choosing, when I first played through it, I chose Squirtle. And then, over time, I was like, why did no one even consider choosing Bulbasaur? So I chose Bulbasaur, and when I started playing through the game, I was like, he's good. He was killing each gym until Sabrina, but he was killing each gym one by one.
No, that's the thing. In the original game, Bulbasaur will carry your team until you, and Sabrina's the 5th or the 6th gym or something like that.
And by then you'll have a Venusaur, and it's no problem.
Yeah, then you have a Venusaur, and Venusaur can just kill anything.
Exactly. So it was kind of that mentality. At first, it was like, I feel bad he's not getting chosen, because I was one of those kids that got chosen last and for dodgeball and all that stuff. So
I got chosen last too, because I'd always end up kicking the ball rather than throwing it, because I always kicked harder than I could throw.
I feel you.
And I can curve a ball really well, but it's not going to be going that fast.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, like I said, it was just mainly the basic reason, but over time he just slowly he became my favorite just because no one wanted to accept Bulbasaur. And I was like, yo, Bulbasaur's a cool Pokemon. And then I've been playing Pokemon with my friends since the Link cable, and I don't know if a lot of these youngsters remember the Link cable.
I know, I remember the Link. I know I think you're a couple years older than me. I'm 19.
Yeah.
So my guess is you're probably 20, 21, just a little bit older than me.
I'm actually 25.
Still. No, because when Red and Blue came out, I wasn't old enough to play it because I wouldn't be able to comprehend it. It came out in 1999. I was 3. You don't know what a video game is when you're 3.
Yeah.
So, the first game for me was Gold and Silver, and there were all these people saying, oh, we're Gen 1ers, and I'm like, I would have been if I was old enough.
Exactly. Well, if people who don't know what a cable is, I mean, you know it, but I actually surprisingly have my first Game Boy here in front of me.
Oh, my Lord.
Because I was just looking through my old stuff, but it's I don't think you guys can see it, but there's a little thing here.
No, they can see it. I can see it, so they can see it.
So it's right here. You just connect it. It looks like a USB kind of thing. But
yeah, for those of you who don't know, the way that you charge your 3DS now, basically, it would plug in to your Game Boy, and it would have another end that looks the same that plugged into the other Game Boy, and that would be that's how Wi-Fi was back then. That's how you battled and everything.
There was no such thing as Wi-Fi. So
that was how you had battles with other people.
And considering that I had a Venusaur and everyone else had a Squirtle or a Charmander, but did not know how to handle a Venusaur because they've never really faced it, it's like, bruh.
Nobody knew the power of Venusaur.
Yeah, there's a reason why he was OU for a very long time and still is. So
yeah, I think he
Yeah.
dropped down to UU in Gen 5 and right back up to OU in Gen 6.
Yeah, pretty much. I think so. Something like that.
Or no, wait. Actually,
I think it was always OU, right?
Yeah, I think so, because if you think about it, in Gen 5, there was permanent weather, and Venusaur under the sun in permanent weather...
Oh, yeah, he was a monster.
That's scary. Because, like, I know in the 2014 season of VGC, it was Mega Charizard Y and Venusaur. They ran through, like, everything.
Yeah, pretty much. They're a monster together. But yeah, I'm actually checking right now.
Yeah, I kind of figured, because I'm like, he has that look where he's not looking at me, he's looking at the screen.
Yeah, because I was like, is
like, I'm really curious, because I don't know. I know it's OU now, and I feel like he was OU before.
I'm pretty. Yeah, he was OU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't because he's bulky, he's fat.
Yeah,
And
pretty much. You could run him anyway. Yeah.
He gets knockoff now.
Yeah.
He gets earthquake.
Yeah, I think he always had earthquake.
Yeah. I mean, like,
yeah,
everything gets earthquake, but to the same extent. I mean, if you can run a physical Gengar, you can run a physical Venusaur.
Exactly.
And I think you taught us all that you can run a physical Gengar.
Oh man, physical Gengar's the greatest. Yep.
People with their Shadow Ball, please.
Catch his Sucker Punch.
Yeah, God.
Pretty much, yeah.
But one of the things about you is that I talked to a pretty large amount of people in this community. There are a few people I haven't been able to get a hold of yet, but you're one of the examples. I have never heard somebody say something negative about you, and normally somebody says something negative about someone at some point, and that's never happened to you, and I'm kind of curious what you do to sort of, like, keep yourself with that good reputation, make sure that you don't get on anyone's bad side, because in a community like this, a lot of people are really volatile, and sometimes it's not even under your control. People just decide not to like someone, and I've never heard somebody say that about you.
Well, okay, there was one point where I released a video, and I'm pretty sure you've seen it, but it was pretty much a clickbait video. What I titled it was, "Is PokeTubing dead?" And I posed it as a question. Well, how people saw it was they saw it as a statement. And I'm like, no. If you watch my video, if you actually watch my video, it's me stating, PokeTubing is not dead. It may be stale right now. There's nothing new coming out for us as PokeTubers, but it's definitely not dead. There's a ton of ideas you can lay out and, rechange up the game yourself. But people saw it due to the title saying that Hermes is just, he's just gonna quit like everyone else, and that was pretty much the only downtime for me. And I had a couple people say bad things about me, but then it was just them assuming rather than watching the full content of the video. They just saw the title, started talking shit, and I called them out on it. I'm like, "Did you watch the video?" And they said no. I'm like, "Watch the video." That's all I said. And yeah, so it corrected a lot of people. And other than that, how I stay pretty much in good terms with a lot of people is I try to stay as neutral as possible. When my friends go through situations, of course I have to back them up, but I usually just give them insight, like, this is what is going on my friend's behalf. Rather than making everything public, if there's a situation going on, I'd rather take it to the DMs.
Yeah.
I'm not one to make problems public. Even when it came to calling out people with my situation, I DM'd them. I messaged them on the side and like, "Did you watch it?" And they said no. Watch it. So
no. Okay.
Yeah.
Change that.
Yeah. My thing is, there are better ways to handle situations. Going public and going crazy and calling people out, like, on a social media network, as good as it may seem, like, to pretty much put someone out for a mistake they've done wrongfully, like, to another person. First, sometimes it'd be better to, talk to them on the side and just be like, "Hey, look, this is what I'm seeing. I want to know what's going on in your head." Rather than like, "He did that! He did that! He can't believe he did that!" And, like, even when my friends do, I'm like, whoa, take it back, take it back, take it back. Talk to them first. Like when I have discussions with my friends, and we talk about like certain situations, I'm like, have you talked to them? That's me. Like, just if you just talk things out with the other person in private, everything would be much better. The world would be a much better place. Like, you know, the Pokemon community would seem less vile, and people like the Pokemon community so toxic. It's the only reason why it's toxic is because we're all still young, and we tend to call people out in the public. But you know, like it's human nature. We all make mistakes, and I just see it as that when someone makes a mistake and does wrongfully towards me, you know, I always, like I said, I talk to them on the side, and you know, I try to be as forgiving as possible, because even if it's my fault, I know when it's my fault. If it's my fault, I'll be like, look, I apologize, that's my fault. But a lot of us is like I said, we're very young and we're still learning and we're growing up. So the best advice that I tell people, like how do you be in good terms with everyone, is just be yourself, have fun, and like if situations do rise, take it privately rather than calling it out on public. And if they do call you out on public, just be like, hey, message me, and then just go about it that way. So yeah, it's it's scary, because even I get scared whenever I make a video that can possibly cause some kind of stir up drama. Like, I always make sure I'm very cautious about the things I say. There are times when I made videos and I would like record it, render it, ready to upload, and then when I'm about to upload it, I listen to it again. I'm like, nah, like I could word this better without, because if I say it this way, it might cause drama. Now, of course, I have like good friends like my Lemon Squad friends and Tara. I always make them. I tell them what I said, and they're like, you know, you could do it differently. I'm like, okay.
And of course, Anima. I saw your video of the three of y'all at Disneyland, and I was laughing my ass off. That was the best.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
She comes to LA relatively often. Like, I know she was there. It was either earlier this year or late last year.
October, I think, is what she told me.
Yeah, because I know she was down here, and Anima. I don't know her like personally, but she did the banner art for my channel. So you know, I have, you know, the professional relationship with her. I'm still trying to get her Skype, because I feel like I owe her an interview, because every time somebody opens up my channel, they see that gorgeous banner, and I'm like, it wasn't me. My hands are way too shaky for that. It was Anima. Go show her the love, and I'm like, I just feel like I'm not doing enough to say thank you. I paid her immediately, and I'm like, it's not enough. Like, first of all, her rates are phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's not enough. She needs more. I want to give more. And the other thing that you were saying that, I don't know if my guess is you know who the Mikey J is. He's another guy in this community, and I had him on for an interview a while ago, and as you know, he's like, in terms of age, he's, you know, he's older than most of us are. He's in his 30s. And one of the things that we were talking about is how the thing that Pokemon does when you talk about this community is that it brings out like the childlike innocence in you.
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
The thing about that is that it's good in the sense that it brings out the childhood innocence in you, but to the same extent, kids are brats and they don't know how to handle themselves, and that comes out a little bit too. Like, as you see, like when you look at the really big guys like Nappy, Shady, those are the only two I can think of right now, because I am on the best drugs right now from my procedure earlier.
Not bad.
No, but like, if you look at them, people just attack them. Like, they watch the first 2 minutes of the video and they're like, ah! And they go insane. And I'm like, and that's the childish part of the community that's not good, because you have that childish aspect, but to the same extent you have the childish aspect where you give people the benefit of the doubt, and you're quick to befriend people. Like, the types of relationships that you can build from this community, I'm not going to say that they're any like deeper or shallower than any others, but they develop much, much faster. because they're all based around the same genuine interest. Like, if what people who don't produce their own videos, what they don't realize is that for a 30-minute video, that's about 2 hours of work.
Yeah.
And people... Like,
even more sometimes.
Oh, yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, for me, that's, like, the minimum, because it's 30 minutes of recording, 30 minutes of editing, and then probably, like, 30 minutes of rendering, 30 minutes of uploading. Like, it's... Like, that's minimum.
Yeah.
And, like, if you don't create your own content, then you don't really understand that there's a lot that we go through as content creators just to produce content for other people. And like, my channel is very small. As of earlier today, I am at 121 subscribers. I've lost about 1 subscriber per day.
That happens. Trust me, that happens. Yeah.
But like, I put out 2 videos a day. Because I love doing this. This is my favorite thing in the world to do.
Yeah.
And the community that I have from my channel is a really good community, because I sort of like absorbed a few people from communities here and there.
Yeah.
But what people really don't understand, unless, you know, they've been around in the community a while, is that it's not like you record something and a layout magically appears. And like, people think that you record something and it's immediately just uploaded to YouTube like that.
Yeah.
Like, people don't comprehend how much work goes into post-production. Like, this right here, this is, I'm going to try and keep this around 30 minutes, because what I was doing lately is having people on for like an hour and a half, and then I would splice it up, and that doesn't work well, because it makes the rendering way fucking longer.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'll just have them on for 30 minutes, and then I'll have them on again when there's some more... When they've done some more stuff, I've done some more stuff, so there's more things to talk about.
Yeah.
So, like, that's the perfect example. Like, when you were talking about, is PokeTubing dead? When that sort of, like, thought process was flowing through the community, that was really... You know, that hit really deep for me, because, you know, this is my primary social outlet. I don't have, you know, I don't talk to a lot of people like IRL, so to speak. This is my primary social outlet, and I had also just started a channel, like relatively just started a channel, and it's like, I've spent all this money on equipment, I've spent all this time doing all this stuff. Is it really gonna die already?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, it's only gonna die if you let it die.
Exactly, and that was definitely a big point that I said. It's up to you if you want it to die, because honestly, the community in itself, how you perceive the community, is all up to you. It's all up to you. So if you think the community is awesome, then it's awesome. If you think it's dying, then it's dying. Like, I know another PokeTuber who is not a PokeTuber anymore, because he's just like, it's dead and I hate it and it's boring. That's to him. He thinks it's boring. He thinks it's whack. And alongside of that, he brought his subscribers with him, you know, like, yeah, it's boring now, blah, 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 blah. That's up to them. You know, a big point, like, that a lot of people, like, yeah, it's stale at times. But for me personally, I could play Pokemon Red, Blue, Gold, Silver, Ruby, Sapphire, all of them over and over again and not get tired of it, just because I have fun. It's always been something to me that I really treasure, and a lot of people as well. So at the time when I made that video, it was affecting the community, because that was the thought process of the community. Everyone was questioning it. Is it dead? Is it dead? And it's not dead. It really was. It's not dead. Look at it right now. It's thriving. There's PokeTubers that are reaching 100K, and or about to reach it, or reaching like big heights, and I'm really proud of them. And considering that a lot of the people that are like making it now are people that I looked up to before I started, you know, entering the community. So you're right. You know, it's up to the person to realize if it's dead or not. So yeah. it's just one of those things. Like I do like really like I strongly like dislike the fact that a lot of the times when one person says something, it just becomes completely one-sided rather than looking at the bigger picture and then being like, okay, this is what they said. A lot of, like you're saying, the community, like there's the younger side, the immature side of the community, and it's just because we're all, like I said, we're still young, and I don't know, I just it's just one of those where you learn over time to have an open mind and to actually look at things differently. Like I said, like my video was clickbait. It was wrong to have a clickbait title, but in terms of people like clicking it, it worked. But for a lot of for example, people who don't watch my YouTube videos, typically the bigger YouTubers, they assumed that I said one thing when I really didn't. But I mean, like, of course, I clarified it with a lot of the people that didn't. So yeah. It's like the best part about Pokemon for me is that it does bring out the childish part about you, and that was a big portion about me getting into a relationship with my girlfriend. Is like, you have to accept that I like Pokemon. Like I'm a breakdancer, yes, but I love Pokemon, and I will sit down for hours and play it, and you have to accept that. So, yeah, that's it.
Hey, she signed up.
Yeah, exactly. It's a double-edged sword, pretty much. Like, we're young, it's fun, but at the same time, we do young actions. We're still growing, so that's just my whole spiel on that.
I mean, I actually think that's a good ending point. We're here right around the 30-minute mark, and I told you I didn't want to keep it too long
Yeah.
for a variety of reasons, but I'm sure I'll see you. I'm sure I'll hit you up soon for something. I'm sure you have things to do. I know I have things to do.
Yeah.
And basically, the way it works at the end is you do your outro, then I do mine, and then we're good to go.
Okay, so anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the interview, go ahead and click that like button for me, because that would help not only Lucky Lad TV out, it would help me out. And if you guys want to go ahead and check out my channel, I do Hermes things. And
Hermes things.
I do
Those
Hermes
things will be linked in the description down below. You'll be able to find his main channel, second channel, Twitter, anything else?
That's it.
Alright, so you'll be able to find those 3 links in the description down below.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to thank you guys so very much for watching. If you enjoyed, if you felt that you got something out of this, if you felt that this video changed your day in some sort of way, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. It's very much greatly appreciated. And of course, more important than supporting my channel is go support Hermes' channel, because he's doing this as a favor to me. He doesn't owe me an interview. He's doing this because I asked him to, and he said yes. So make sure to go show him some love and support from the Lucky Legends. And I think with that, we're gonna get up out of here. Best of luck to you out there. I will see you all soon. Goodbye.